Okay, for the next part of this 6S assignment and in lesson 2 of section 6, we are just kind of working with formatting fonts differently. So again, they provide a OpenOffice document for you to download from the course overview tab where you can download the course resources folder and get the OpenOffice document of this, or I sent out to you the Word version, so you can use that one instead if you'd like. It is a little different in how fonts and everything are set up from OpenOffice. So in Word, you're probably pretty familiar with the setup of Word nowadays with the drop-down font options here. And luckily, the nice thing about Word is it shows you what the fonts look like. So in OpenOffice, you usually have to highlight what it is you want to change, select a text, and then see what it looks like after you've applied it. And so that makes it a little bit easier for us to choose the font that we want. So what you're going to do with this first line is go ahead and highlight it, and then go and find the Verdana font and apply it there. So here's Verdana, and you can just select to apply. Another thing your text shows you is the easy kind of undo command if you get a font that you don't like, or redo it if you decide you do like that font. So the undo and redo options are up here in the top left corner. And so you're just going to, that's all we're doing with this first line is selecting it, finding Verdana, and applying the Verdana font to that first line. Then with the second line, we're going to select all of that line and choose our bold option up here. And if you watched my videos, when we bold or italicize or underline text, and a lot of times it's done to draw attention to that certain part of text. So, but that's something that can sometimes be overdone. So make sure if you are trying to emphasize a certain point, you're not overdoing it by bolding and underlining and italicizing everything. So we want to bold that second line, and then we're going to italicize this third line. So we should have Verdana font at the top, second line bolded, third line italicized. Then with this fourth line, we're going to select it and adjust the text size to 16 to make that a little bigger. And finally, with this last line, we're going to adjust the size to size 8. So you can see the significant difference in sizes there. Okay, next we're going to insert a header to our document. And we talked about in the lesson and in the text that a header usually contains either like the title of the page or the document or the date it was created, and then it copies it over onto every following page. But so now we're just going to insert a header, and we're going to type text formatting document as a title. And then to get out of the header, you can just click outside. You can double click. You can double click to get back into it, or you can say close header footer. Like so, but you'll see it's a little faded, and so it won't like accidentally select your header. So you have to intentionally double click in to get into your header to make some edits to it. And next we're going to then insert a footer, which we talked about in a footer that goes usually the page number with also maybe a short title or maybe your name, whatever. But for now we're just going to put in a page number, so insert a footer. And then in Word, we'll go over to page number and go ahead and put a page number in. So you should get a page number that appears in your footer down at the bottom of your page. Okay, so we have our header in there and our footer in there. We can close to get out of that. And so now we want to preview our text and make sure it's what we want it to look like when we go to print it. Now, I know you're not going to print it, but in Word, it's nice when you go to File, Print, it gives you an automatic print preview over here to the side so you can see how the document's going to look once you print it off. A couple other things I wanted to show you. We could change the orientation of our page. We are in portrait mode right now. Landscape, if we select landscape, would make it wider than it is tall. So if we went back to print preview, you'll see again it's in the landscape version. We can hit undo to send it back to portrait. We could also adjust our margins. The margin is the blank space around the outside of the document. So if we went to a 1/2 inch margin, it narrows down that margin on the edges, or we could go a 1/8 of an inch, but we'll go ahead and keep it at 1 inch margins. And so once you've gotten the text formatted and you got a header and a footer, so we've made all those changes and we should be good to go. So you'll want to again save this file, and you will then submit this along with your edited, revised, and proofread cover letter, and you will submit both of those to assignment 6S.